Hey, Mad Geniuses. So, three things today. We're going to start with the journey I had this morning, which was trying to find a place to accept soft goods. This is cloth goods such as blankets and clothing. So, I had a ton of blankets donated from the Ohio Brigade and even some electric blankets. And the distribution centers cannot accept these anymore. Um, Partially because it's really hard to keep them clean and sort them and store them and all of those things, but also because the people that need these items have been through enough and they don't need used, tattered, worn items. They're starting over. They need new items that are theirs and they don't have to think about it being hand-me-downs and think about it being stained or an old dog blanket or whatever it is. So from here on out, it has to be brand new. It needs to be bagged. It needs to be, um, that's it. It's got to be brand new. But at this point, with the storage problems and the less volunteers and less helpers sorting and all of that, no more soft items, no more cloth items. So, take those to your Goodwill at home and it will get in the system because at this point that's what we have to do. The only place that will take those donations are Goodwills. So I went to two different distribution points. Both said they took a couple that were new and in bags, but otherwise they said nope, they can't take them. So that was an hour and a half journey through Swananoa and then back to Goodwill. So it's not a lack of gratitude. It's not a lack of appreciation. It's cold hard facts. We are 7.5 weeks from the storm, and there's a lot of realities to face, and this is one of them. So although it's well-meaning, it's got to be brand new, and money is always better. Needs change every day. New needs pop up every day, and we are facing cold weather this week. So, propane, personal heaters, quality camping gear, brand new sleeping bags, things like that are definitely in high demand. And still, canned goods, the things that get used up, canned goods, paper products, propane, things like that. Those are still very, very, very much needed. But cash is king, and these distribution centers then go shopping and do deliveries and all the elements to that. So keep that in mind as you are hopefully keeping us in mind as we stare down the holiday season and the colder temperatures. Number two, that's on my heart, and I've been hearing this from several communities. There are structures being donated that are, just temporary housing. They are sheds, those sheds you see at Lowe's in the parking lot and Home Depot. Shout out to Lowe's. They're giving away 2.5 million in grants and Thanksgiving meals and really stepping up for Western North Carolina. So thank you, Lowe's, for that announcement. But, people are facing fines. People are facing officials saying it's not permitted. At this point, it's got to be an anything goes situation. If somebody gets a shed donated and is living out of their shed until they figure out what's next, especially through this winter, we can't be thinking about fining them or worrying about, uh, permits and, dwellable habitat and all that stuff. I mean, yes, safety is important and we can't throw out all safety, but I have a friend in Toe River that is calling, legislators and government officials every day trying to get them to pass a something where all these different sheriffs and police departments and all these, different communities don't have to fear tickets and don't have to think about all of that. It's a something's better than nothing kind of thing for a lot of these families and communities. And if it's a shed that has four walls and can have a heater put inside that, keeps the whole space warm, that is much more preferable than living out of a tent when it's going to drop to 40 degrees this week. So there needs to be some kind of pause, some kind of, temporary injunction, whatever it needs to be. It's shocking that people have to worry about that right now. Um, if people can stay in tents and yurts, why can't they stay in sheds? I mean, four walls. It just seems that when you're in a disaster zone, we try to still live in the rules of the old world, but then the reality of the new world, and that's where we are. We're like having to straddle, laws that are not made for times like this. Laws have to reflect what the heck is actually going on. And, is it some kind of pause? Is it some kind of, I don't know. But that can't be on people's worries already on top of everything else they have going on. If it's in the spirit of safety, there's something different there. But this feels predatory and not what the people want and need and what the people can do. Some people that lost everything are going to gladly sleep on a cot in a shed over sleeping in a tent. So sounds like there's a lot of work to do there. If you and your community are having troubles with this, I would love to hear from you so we can figure out where all this is happening and, work together to make our voices heard. Lastly, the water boil advisory is lifted for the city of Asheville. So that is, all my whole feed is just people celebrating this news. They were telling us months, then last I heard was mid-December. So today is only November 18th. So it is very, very good news that the boil water advisory is lifted. But that doesn't mean I'm personally going to run to my faucet and take a big old gulp. My friend that she actually works for the government related to water, she's also just very savvy and a big time camper and all these things. So she just knows her stuff. So she recommends you flush your whole system at home for a while. And I was like, well, how do you do that? So once you get the all clear to use your water without boiling, which is everyone in the city of Asheville, I believe today, based on the Facebook posts and everything I'm seeing, you turn a few faucets on and let them run for 10 or 15 minutes each day. Maybe do a few rinse cycles on your washer. And if you can drain your hot water heater and let that refill with fresh, clean water. Anything to help clear the lines of the highly chlorinated water. And she also recommends getting a pure, PUR, pure filter for your kitchen faucet anyway. Just use that for drinking water. It's amazing what they can pull out. So yes, that's great news. And, everybody's excited to not have to deal with the hauling of water, the getting of water, the boiling of water, all the water things. This is not just jump in and pour yourself a glass. So flushing the house, still having a pure filter on your kitchen faucet, and running the water, run it through, running laundry, running dishes, running the faucets. So that is the updates for WNC Recovery today. Trying to give 3 things every day. If there's something that you would like covered, if there's something that you've heard and you're curious about, or you want to hear if it's true or what the heck's going on, let me know and I'll look into it. I'm still looking into the disintegrating boots, the cadaver dogs dying, horses dying, mules dying. There are a lot of stories going around, and I am looking into anything that I give pushback and then I get more responses. You know, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to keep digging until I find a person either that I know personally that I can trust from that community, or a friend of a friend that I can trust, kind of direct. That's how I'm trying to weed through the facts and the fiction and, make sense of it all and try to just keep focused on the truth and focused on what's reality and focused on what people I know or people they know are seeing, witnessing, experiencing themselves. Firsthand accounts is what I'm trying to focus on. And if I keep seeing something enough times, then I keep looking into it. So that's something I'm looking into, and I would love to hear from anybody in my orbit who has hard facts about any of the worst, scariest, hardest parts of this. Um, things maybe you haven't seen on the news that you want to know more about. Those are some of the topics that I'm trying to find answers about as well. So info. We got to share info. We've got to keep connected to all of these communities. At first they said 33 counties were impacted, and I'm not saying that that's not true at all, but then there's degrees of that. So seems like maybe 10 or 20 counties were hit the hardest. So just figuring out where everybody sits, because some counties to the west, just a few trees down. That's a way different reality than Swannanoa, like I went through today. That's pretty much gone. We're creeping on 8 weeks this Thursday, and Swannanoa looks like it happened yesterday, and that's not to belittle the efforts of so many people and even official groups and the government and things like that. But it's just what it looks like. That's just what it looks like. And, even today for me, I put some extra trash out that didn't fit in my bin, and they didn't pick it up. So then you think about all these places, as far as the eye can see in Swannanoa, everybody has trash on the curb. So much trash on the curb. And, I guess it'll be there as long as it'll be there. There's no real telling when it's going to be gone. Trash and debris is literally just piled up everywhere. Piled up everywhere. All right, off to keep packing up this office. We are being displaced on November 30th, and lots to think through of where to put stuff, how to consolidate, how to get through these next 12 days. All right, y'all. Have as good as Monday as you can.